Thilo, hi. Back to Europa League nights and back to playing away from home. Just how excited is the group, is the squad to be back on the road in the Europa League again?
Very excited. I mean, we all still have the memories from last year, and obviously also the last years, and everybody at the club knows how special it is, what a privilege it is to play in Europe. So, yeah, for us players and the staff, it's the same. And yeah, the way we take the group phase games serious as well.
And you're back in Germany. You would have played against Freiburg a fair bit. Can you try and explain what sort of club they are, just what sort of team they are?
Yeah, I know them pretty well. I grew up not very far from here, so it's a local club that yeah, grows itself from within, from the academy, from the structure that they have, which is a very good and very disciplined, and also very encouraging for young players, because a lot of players in the first team, in the squad, are coming from the academy or coming from the region. So they have their own identity, and they work pretty well, because a few years ago they were always a club that was on the urge to stay in the league or maybe go down to second division, and now they have a few years consecutive playing in Europe and playing in the upper third of the table in Bundesliga. So yeah, from my side, only heads off to that.
That's it. Obviously, no West Ham fans able to travel here. How much of an impact do you think that will have tomorrow night, and how much of a disappointment is that, given, I suppose, the role the travelling fans played on your run last year?
Yeah, obviously we love our fans, having our fans with us, supporting us at the games, and especially on away games. It gives you a little extra kind of boost, I would say, because playing away is always having the fans against you, and it's also a feeling that motivates us as a team. And not having our fans tomorrow night is, yeah, of course, it's unfortunate for us. But we have to be professionals, and we have to adapt to the situation. We all have played during the pandemic, during a lot of games that where no supporters were. So we know that we have to get the job done and adapt the best we can to the situation.
And obviously you've had a really encouraging start in the Premier League. You've not personally had the involvement I'm sure you would have liked so far. How important is this competition for you to keep pushing your case for the league games as well?
Yeah, very important. Very important. Every minute I get, I try to, yeah, give the best for myself, for the team, to get a good impact of the team, and to be as successful as possible, personally, but of course with the team as well.
Just Freiburg this weekend have Bayern Munich away from home, probably one of the toughest fixtures in Germany. Do you think that will have any impact on how they approach the game?
How they approach the game tomorrow? I don't think so. I don't think so. I know that there always have been, and especially in the last years, a team that is very focused on being good organized, having a good game plan, and taking game by game to perform at their best. So I don't think they're gonna change that plan in any cases during seeing the game that they will have on the weekend.
You've played in really competitive squads before at PSG and still with the German national team. Is this one of the most competitive squads you've been in your career to date?
I would say maybe we're one of the most balanced squads, where also the chemistry encourages this kind of competition, and is also in a pretty healthy way, I would say, where everybody's aware of the competition, and everybody has his own qualities, and tries to bring them to the team at the end to have the team profit from each and every one of us. So I would say that it's a pretty special group we have.
Hi, David. Just start with any team news. Has everyone travelled?
Mick hasn't travelled. Mick's got an injury and hasn't travelled. Creswell's still recovering from a hamstring, and Ben Johnson's got a little bit of a tight groin as well, so he's not travelled either.
What was the problem with Antonio?
As I said at the weekend, he had a tight sort of adductor, so we don't want to take any risks with him, and so he wouldn't have been available anyway. Wasn't
Any
right.
indication yet as to how it would be for the weekend?
No idea at the moment, you know. Just going to try and get him through a few days training if possible, or see how he is and his recovery and see how he is. But no, he was struggling on Saturday with it as well.
On tomorrow.
Saturday, was it Saturday we played you? Was Saturday?
It was
yeah,
Saturday,
Saturday.
yeah.
On to tomorrow night. Been some talk that this might be your most difficult game in the group stage. Do you share that view and what you're
I do.
expecting?
I think we're playing against a really good team. Had excellent success over the last couple of years in certainly in the Bundesliga, and also done really well in Europe last year itself. So I think we've got a manager who's been in place for a long time, and stability often goes a long way, and I think it's certainly shown that at this club. And from maybe not being the biggest household name in Germany, they've certainly grown as a football club and got themselves in a really good position.
You've seen you kind of rotate teams a little bit in the past, sometimes more of a kind of half and half team. What sort of strength do you think we'll be looking at tomorrow?
Well, I'm not going to give too much away, but you know, we've been in a pretty good path over recent years and how we've tried to do it. I think the disadvantage, no, not the disadvantage, I think whatever league you're in, they're really, really difficult games, but obviously the disadvantage is the level of sometimes the Premier League games that you have to play when you go back on the Sunday.
Kieran?
Hi, David.
Hi, Kieran.
Obviously no fans tomorrow, so it's just your 11 guys against
Yeah.
probably about 35,000 supporters.
Yeah.
You have to, I suppose, just stand up and try and be counted.
Yeah, I mean, look, we've had brilliant support away from home as well in Europe, so I'm disappointed we can't get the supporters here. We had a great journey last year, getting to the final and all the semi-finals and all the other games before that as well. But no, tomorrow night we know it'll be difficult. Big crowd, and we expect it. I think every time you come to Germany, the atmospheres in the stadiums. We've found it when we went to Frankfurt. We found it in all the games we've been at when we've come here. So I don't expect anything different tomorrow night.
You're unbeaten in Europe on 16 games, and that's the same as Leeds in 1968 and Tottenham in 1972 under Don Revie and Bill Nicholson. But if you go unbeaten tomorrow, that's a new record for an English side.
Wow, didn't know that. Yeah.
I mean, that's a hell of an achievement if you can go and do that.
It is,
They're not bad names to...
No, not bad names, are they? People who know football would tell you two incredibly gifted managers over long periods in English football. It would be a great achievement if we can do that. But look, let's hope we can keep it going. We've done well in Europe over the last couple of seasons. We want to try and continue that.
Just got to ask you on Jurgen Klopp saying you'd like to replay that game because of that mistake. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on that? Would that open up a can of worms?
No, I can understand his feelings because of the what happened. It's a difficult one. I think there's been enough talked about it already, and obviously it's a big media story at the moment. I don't know if I necessarily want to add to that too much, but that's not much more I can say to it or add to it really from what's getting said from every angle. It was a mistake, and we all make mistakes, so it can happen.
Jordan?
Hi, David. You've spoken about at West Ham leaving a legacy and making history, and I know you've already done that with the trophy, and that's what everyone will remember. But how much does it incentivise you to keep making history, to keep leaving a legacy at this club, especially in Europe?
I think the excitement of coming to play in Europe, the games, the amount of times we've taken West Ham supporters away. I know they're not here in the game tomorrow night. And maybe for a long, long time it's not been in the DNA really. We've not been a European club. We're now a European club. We're now in our third year in a row in Europe. take pride in that we've been able to do that. We certainly don't take it for granted. I think when you turn up, you're privileged to be in a European competition. You have to go into every game feeling that you're going to have to earn it. I think every game we've been in Europe, all the games have been really tough, and maybe sometimes the outcome have looked a lot easier, but we've always found the games really, really difficult, especially away from home. And I actually think now football throughout Europe, because people are getting a chance to see maybe the Premier League, or over the years we watched Real Madrid and Barcelona. I think over time, I think all football in Europe's improving greatly, and I think that the standard throughout all the countries is rising.
And you say about DNA, do you think European football now is in the DNA of West Ham, or do you think it takes a lot longer in order for that to kind of
Yeah, well, I think we've just started to get a little taste of what it's like and what you need to do. I mean, look, if we could continue in this competition, and look, I always said the first year we came in, I said I hope I'm in European football after Christmas time. That was the thing. I'm still saying the same. I'm saying I still hope that we're in European football after Christmas time. We were European winners last year. If we can get ourselves into February, March, April next year in Europe, it'll be a hell of an achievement.
Are you not a bit more greedy to say not just after Christmas, to be in it in April, May?
Yeah, but I think that you have to also be realistic. I think this competition, I think, is improved greatly itself. We won the Conference League last year. I'm looking at the teams who are in this competition. I'm looking at the teams who may drop down out the Champions League, who are going to come into the competition. So I still feel that the first thing I need to do is try and be in Europe after Christmas. That would be a big thing for us, and I need to try and do that.
Just one here from Fox.
Yes.
Hello, Daniel Reyes for Fox Sports from Mexico. I would like to know your opinion about Edson Alvarez. We are in Mexico. We are happily surprised about how he adapted so fast to the Premier League.
He's done incredibly well. He started fast in the games. He's made a big difference to us. And he's a really good man to have around as well. We like him. Good leader, good professional. Settled in really well. I still believe he's still getting used to the rigours of the Premier League. He's had a few bookings early on so he'll need to find his way how not to have that so regular. I still think coming in the last 10 or 15 minutes a game, he's found it physically demanding in the Premier League, and I think he would admit that as well. But I have to say he's doing a great job, and we're really pleased to have him. He gives us a lot of confidence. I think he's making other players play better around him as well, and that's a sign of a good team player.
Thank you. Any more, guys? Yep, last one.
You said about Mickey obviously hasn't travelled, and I know you're not going to say who's going to start up top, but Mbama, we know you rate him highly.
I do.
Would you have any issues chucking him into a game as big as this?
Maybe this one I would. I think we're playing a really good opponent, and we like Divine a lot. He's 18 years old. He's learning his trade and he's coming along really nicely. So we'll have some thoughts about it. But Divine we like, but would I start him tomorrow night? Probably not.